Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Napoleon Total back with some Shogun 2 Flawless Samurai Scramble for the Far East mod, and we are back with the Qing. In the last episode, we destroyed an entire U.S. Navy. I also told you guys that when I was recording, I was essentially watching the stream of Kingston, and I basically fought against Kingston to see how that went, which was kind of embarrassing. You can watch my other video that was literally posted by me, and yeah. But as we are doing right now, we are just building ships because we need a lot of these ships, because now we are officially at war with the United States. And the war is going pretty well, in the sense that we're taking territory, but we're taking territory at such a slow rate. There are just way too many American armies in the field, and even if they're not in the field, some of my armies straight outright suck. And I don't mean it in the sense that in White Banner border units they suck. No, they're fine. Some units I gave them all cavalry, and that is wonderful for dealing with land armies, but it is absolutely terrible when dealing with units in the siege, which is what is going on right now. The siege of Utsu in 1861, which is once again this is Utsu Castle, not Utsu Province, but basically what's happening is that I'm bombing the heck out of the Americans. The Americans do have this reinforcement army. And basically what is going to happen is I'm basically just going to charge my reinforcing army against the American reinforcing army, and that's just going to destroy the reinforcing army. I basically destroyed their cavalry in less than a few seconds, and now I'm just going to rely on my White Banner border units to carry the day against this conscript unit, or this volunteer unit. I don't know which it is. Conscripts and volunteers for me is just, they have the exact same stats, but they just look a little bit different. I think like conscripts look better. Actually, no. I think volunteers look better, and conscripts look worse. But yes. Oh, what are we going? Oh yes, we are just gonna be destroying the enemy army. Well, this enemy army outside, which is only 2 units. One of it is cavalry, which has already been destroyed, and this unit, which is getting destroyed. And at this point, the enemy just routs, and I'm just gonna chase after them. But like I was saying, some of my armies in the field actually are kind of terrible. But once again, some of my armies are actually not that bad. One of them is this army, which is, although it doesn't have any guns, it has a lot, and I mean a lot of artillery. You can see in a few seconds, which is right now, most of the castle is lighting up in fire. This Tetsu is, which is the keep. This keep has been literally lit on fire, and yeah, this fort itself is actually not that bad. It's not a terrible fort. It's actually a pretty large fort with cannon emplacements, but it's just not going to go well against at least 4 artillery teams. Actually, 4 artillery teams, 5 mortar teams, I think. But yes, as of right now, we're just burning this fortress, and you can see our rockets are not doing as much damage as you would think. But give them a few minutes, they're just gonna be destroying the enemy. With my army modernized, you can see some uniforms for the general staff, and unfortunately, this is not the historical uniforms of the general staff. The historical uniforms of the general staff will be something reminiscent along the blue. Which I have to admit, the development team has been working on. And speaking of the development team of Total FOTS, our next update for Beta 12, which is our next update. Currently we are on Beta 11. So if you're wondering, we're doing Beta 11 right now. Beta 12 is going to be uploaded at the end of November. So that gives me some time to do another campaign after this. Now, that is assuming if I end this campaign really quick. Or I can just have this campaign go as long as ever, but I don't really want to do that. I'm just interested to do another campaign. Yes. And another thing, so beta 12 is going to be coming in at the end of November. I don't know when is the exact date, but the response was somewhere around the 21st, from what I know. So yes, that's that. Another thing that I've been saying, another thing that I have to tell you guys is basically I have my Discord up, and off the bat I'm just gonna link that in the comments section. Well, no, not the comments section. In the link of this video. So, well, not the link, just the description. So yes, I have my Discord set up, so feel free to come and comment. And if you have battle replays, which some people have been posting, please post them in Discord so I can review them or I can watch them, whatever you like to say. But anyway, back to the battle. Our guys are just going to be scaling the walls after our artillery just pounded the enemy. Every time I assault the wall, I usually, for European factions, I would just shoot them to death, but because I'm playing as a Qing and I don't have that many European units, I'm just gonna bomb rush them at this point. So yes, that's that. Yes. But our guys are actually gonna be doing a pretty good job. The enemy cannon, which has been, the cannons have already been taken out, so we don't have to worry about that. But there are some enemy units shooting at us. Nothing I can really do about that. Yes, but eventually we're just gonna scale the walls and we're gonna pray for the best. As our rockets and mortars also fire more on the enemy reserves. You see, the reason why some of my men are not scaling the walls was because I was hoping this unit could silence the guys who were shooting. Eventually those guys who were shooting just get killed, straight outright get killed. I was really surprised that they just kept shooting when I was engaging them. Some units, for those who don't know, literally will turn and away and face, which is what is about to happen right now, I think. But eventually I realized that they were not going to stop shooting, so I just like, you know what, screw it, I'm just going to go through the gap. And yes, that's that. The new update, which is going to be happening on November 28th. Oh, sorry, 21st, I think. But at least the end of November. Is going to give us a lot of new Qing units. And one of the new Qing units is actually going to be, I hope, the Imperial, essentially the westernized Imperial Guard version of the Qing Empire. And we're also gonna get some like actual troops that are modernized troops, of course. But yes. From what I also know, the modding team is gonna be adding in Denmark and Austria for multiplayer, but yeah, since I don't have multiplayer, well, I do have multiplayer, there's not a lot of people who's doing multiplayer. And since not a lot of people are doing multiplayer, I can't really comment on that. But yes, that's that. A lot of new stuff has been entered. Like tier 4, tier 5 units have been entered in, and yes. What else? Another thing that yes. Another thing that is going on is the new uniforms and textures. For the Qing, I know they're adding in the Fly Army. For France, I think they're adding in tier 3 and 4s. And obviously, the higher tier you go, the more accurate the guns are, and that means more deaths. And it also means quicker deaths. More as of the game right now, our guys are shooting at the enemy, the United States, and all East European factions or westernized factions are pretty much using guns that are similar to musket rifles, I would dare say. And Shogun 2 really, Shogun 2 Fall of Samurai itself has very fast guns, so that's going to be a problem. But as the tiers go on, more and more, it's just going to be deadlier and deadlier. Yes. With that said, our guys are just going to be running into the fortress. And, yeah. As you can see, my artillery, my rockets, as a matter of fact, are targeting this massive blob of infantry. And they kept a lot of reserves right here, and they just sat here for the rest of the battle, essentially. So I'm just going to do them a favor and just literally fire upon rockets on them. And you can see the devastating effect right now. Well, I can say a lot of people are dead within the first few volleys. And I say a first few because it was a lot of volleys. The first two to be exact. But well, there were a few before then. But yeah. This enemy blob, which is consisting of colonial infantry, militia, and some levies, are just getting destroyed by my rockets. And once again, my impression of rockets is ups and down in the sense that my impression of rockets are that they're sometimes good and sometimes bad. Like, I just like how stupidly insane they are sometimes. But on other times, it's just not doing the amount of damage. Against buildings, they are an absolute must to bring. That is why I consider the UK, Qing, and the Joseon Kingdom to be slightly overpowered because they have this one unit of rockets. Yeah, that's that. But our guys are just gonna be blowing this away. And we're just gonna finally storm the final keep, and then after that, we're just gonna destroy the enemy, essentially. There's nothing much I can do after this point, but like, yes. And you can see my men cheering because we have finally stormed the final keeps of the castle, and we essentially win the battle. We've lost 500, which is not that bad. And we've taken the entire castle of Utsu, but we capture Omi province. So that's gonna be great. We're gonna peacefully occupy. And at this point, we're just starting to gain land against the Americans. We have pretty much stopped the American advance against the British, which is great. And now at this point, we're just trying to finish, just capture land. Obviously, that is getting harder and harder because it's kind of hard in the sense that we're just having a hard time. It's just a lot of battles, and I really would prefer to have this like this. I have this like this one massive battle that pretty much decides the war. Although I am pretty sure that the Americans are definitely not going to be offering that sort of battle. To be honest, if I were, I would not do that either. If I knew the enemy was way stronger than me, I would not count on one battle to end all battles, unless I am 100% sure that I'm gonna win. But even then, I have to be very careful. And I guess the Americans are smart enough to realize that they're not gonna be doing that. However, that said, our armies have pretty much destroyed the Americans. Setsu is being run over by rebels, and finally, I can say that Setsu is the only province to have rebels. But yes. Elsewhere, there's this Wakayama army, and yeah. What you see here was that basically what happened was I actually fought this battle, but on the battle screen it shows me basically the enemy is just stuck in a forest, and I just blasted them with rockets and mortars and whatnot. But for some reason, every time I did this 2 or 3 times, every time I went to the end screen, it shows me I lost my entire army, which is definitely not true. So I decided, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna put myself in the castle and see what the enemy does. So yeah, that was a little bit of a bummer. So yes, I don't know what happened. I just know that it was a little bit weird, because technically I destroyed the entire enemy army with no casualties, and it shows me losing my entire army. So that's weird. So yes, the Americans are just gonna be moving around troops. They have a lot of ships. However, those ships are just going to be bombarding my ports, which to 0 or less effect. Our guys are just going to be trying to farm up our Southern Fleet, and our Northern Fleet is currently bombarding the American coasts, help supporting my main army. But I need another fleet, and I need it quick because the Americans are encroaching on my ships. But yes. As of right now, the enemy decides to attack the Wakayama Forts with another army, and at this point I really didn't know if I was gonna win, but I was rest assured when I realized I can just wait it out. I do have this massive fortress of Osaka, and because Osaka is heavily defensible and the enemy has brought no artillery, we're just gonna win. We're just gonna hold for dear God and let the artillery, which is the fort emplacements, and our rockets that I brought, and the arrow towers to finish the work. Now that is assuming that the enemy does not capture any said arrow towers, which means I will have to be defending the outer wall with some of these militia. And although I don't really like to deploy, I don't really think highly of militia, they are more than enough to hold the line, or at least until my guys do stuff. But as of right now, the enemy is bringing a lot of these sword katanas, katana samurai, which are before I fought katana samurai were kind of terrible. I did some research and I found that katana samurai and my own swordsmen are pretty much similar in the fact that they are pretty good. They're pretty good. They're almost the same, except for the samurai has +1 everything. So +1 morale, +1 stuff. But yeah. But anyway, the enemy is just gonna be marching their army, and once again, the total FOTS team did a very good job of redoing the faces, as you can see right here, and they look absolutely cool. I'm just gonna say that because it's wonderful. As of right now, our artillery is just opening fire on the enemy, and we're doing actually a lot of damage. On the other side, the enemy decides to disrupt my line with literally some Dutch Doctrine light infantry, and you can see them fixing bayonets and literally charging in without even firing a volley. But they are getting gunned down by my air towers. What's also interesting is that they sent this unit particularly all across around. That's probably to split up my forces, which is a smart idea, except for the fact that they charged this unit way too early. And the rest of the army on this sector is mostly cavalry, and cavalry are very acceptable to being fired on by the gun emplacements in this castle. And as a matter of fact, within the beginning first 2 seconds of the battle, the enemy general dies. To be exact, one of the enemy general dies. But yes, this Dutch Doctrine line infantry is just getting gunned. I do have reserves, just in case, and I am moving down some units, but eventually I'm just going to move them away since the Dutch Doctrine light infantry has already routed, and we're just going to be focusing on the main attack. which is going to be coming very, very soon, which is actually right now. This is also another diversionary attack. It's a smaller attack, but it's part of the main attack. This is actually, to be exact, the far right flank of the main attack. And this is going to begin first. The Katana Samurai is just going to charge through, scale the walls. They're taking some casualties when scaling the walls, but the second they're through, they're actually going to have a quite easy time against these militia. Actually, matter of fact, these are levies. So they're going to have a very easy time against these levies. And so yes, that's that. What I come to find about siege battles is that after you scale the walls, the first few guys that come in almost always die. So yeah, but after, no matter what bonuses you have against melee, unless you're a hero unit, but that's different. But that said, the first few units that come through, they almost always die, and the rest follows actually have their benefits. But as we can see right now, our guys are actually opening fire on some samurai, but except for the fact that they're gun samurai. The enemy decides to send some units to scale the walls to stop our men, but that's not going on. Our arrow towers are just annihilating that samurai unit. This unit of literally white banner infantry is just going to be sent in against samurai. And in a 1v1, they're actually not that bad against samurai. Although +1 and +2 are not that big, and since the enemy don't deploy that many samurai, it's not that bad. Obviously, white banner units are not the best sword unit. Katana Samurai, I'm pretty sure they are the best sword unit for at least the Japanese factions, I think. But the white banner border units, for sure, they are not the best sword unit for the Qing. The yellow banner and the yellow banner border swordsmen are one of the best swordsmen. And yellow banner border units have way more morale, almost in all regards, they are way better than samurai in terms of just unit statistics. But yes, that's that. We're gonna win because the enemy is pretty much destroyed. Our arrow towers is gonna be firing fire arrows at the enemy, and that compels them to just like run away. But yes. At this point, my men are just reforming, waiting for the next attack, which is going to happen very, very soon. As a matter of fact, the main attack is going to be happening almost as soon as possible. I do have a lot of reserves on this front, and that is because the enemy is attacking waves, and that means I'm allowed to move troops however I want. Finally, you can see the enemy finally massing for a massive attack. And you see right here, the enemy have some bow samurai, which to my surprise, they didn't fire any bows. Well, until the very end, they fired some bows, but they decided to put in their bow samurai some Yari Ronin, and some Dutch Doctrine Line infantry, followed by some Yari Ashigaru. They're gonna send them in. Literally, you're gonna have the bow samurai go in first, which is kind of problematic. But sure, they're gonna do that. We do have some Yari we have some Katana Ashigaru in the mix, and I don't know how good they are, but from what I know, from what I think, they should be similar to Lone Sword Ashigaru. But that's how my brain is thinking. Our guys are just gonna pull through, and essentially we're gonna well, no, the enemy is gonna pull through. But you can see some of the enemy army has just been devastated by literally cannons on top of our emplacements. Our guys are waiting well in reserve. We do have some yellow banner border units. By the end of this battle, most of these guys will be dead. That's kind of foreshadowing how bloody this battle is going to be. But you can already see in the mix we have some bow samurai. And to my surprise, bow samurai are actually pretty good in melee. Just by how many kills they eventually got. Obviously, I don't know how much kills they got. Well, I don't know their exact stats, that's what I'm saying. But they do pretty well. And I am kind of forced to commit some reserves. As you can see in the background, the enemy is just swarming us with literally numbers. They're just pulling more and more troops through, and which is not a bad idea. This is actually a smart idea of the enemy swarm us with numbers. But however, they didn't try to flank, and when they did try to flank, I just massacred them. So yeah, the enemy is now trying to flank on this side, which is not a bad idea at all. I am forced to commit even more reserves. This unit is actually pretty depleted before it's down to half strength before it even fought, and by the end of this battle, it's going to be beyond half strength. I'm going to send in my relatively healthy Chang spearmen, and for those who don't know, Chang is literally Chinese for spear or long spear. But we're just going to put these guys in Yari roll, and they're just going to hold for an insane amount of time. This is pretty much the only time. These guys are going to be so useful in Yari wall. But yeah. That said, these guys are taking some casualties because there's a lot of enemy good units. We're going to continue, and the enemy is going to continue to charge straight in. They're actually deploying some katana Ronin right here. You can tell they're Ronin because they don't have they're not dressed as Yari Ashigaru, who basically have this Yari Ashigaru basically have a circular hat with a spike, like the one that you see in the background. Similar to Dutch Doctrine Line Infantry, their helmets, but Yari Ashigaru basically have this like circular disc with a spike, and they call that a helmet. The Samurai basically have Samurai helmet. I don't think I need to explain that, but a Katana Ronin or any Ronin unit, from my understanding, is basically they don't have any they're basically just their head and some hair, and that's it. But yes, as of right now, our guys are just gonna be storming through, and for the rest of the battle, it's gonna be self-explanatory, so I don't really need to talk that much. As a matter of fact, I don't think I will be talking for the rest of the battle because the rest of the battle should be self-explanatory. So I'll see you at the end screen.
sir.
Finally, we are back, and pretty much during this battle, we lost a lot of guys. We've pretty much lost our entire cavalry, which is weird because I really didn't deploy cavalry, but I'll take it because for some reason, if I fight on the battlefield, it's just the same. It's worse in the sense that even if I win, it's gonna have my entire army destroyed for no reason. So that's weird. I'm pretty sure there's something wrong with, obviously, this map, or well, this battle or something. But anyway, we've taken Kawachi. Well, we held Kawachi to be exact, and as of right now, we are doing just fine. That is pretty much it for this episode, and so I'll see you in the next one. Now, before you leave, I would like to thank you very much for watching this video. I would be honored if you could like and subscribe to the channel. Remember, more videos are coming out, so it is a good idea to click on that notification button. Anyways, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.